What's up, YouTube bots community? It's your boy, Mr. Universal Sports, coming live from my undisclosed location in the Southern California. You know how we do it. Well, folks, I'm here to do my breakdown and my post-fight video of the Kell Brook versus Errol Spence Jr. fight. And what can I say? It was a very good fight, folks. And at the time of the knockout, I scored this fight 96-93, all for the winner for Errol Spence Jr. And I was shocked that in the 11th round that I'm sorry, folks, iPhone. That Errol Spence Jr., not Errol Spence Jr., Kell Brook took a knee and just stopped the fight. It was his left eye this time, not the right eye that he had the orbital bone surgery on. And that was a concern for me coming into this fight for Kell Brook. And also with the weight loss, with him coming back down from middleweight to the welterweight division. As we know, we all know what happened to Roy Jones when he did that. After he went up to heavyweight to beat John Ruiz, he went back down to light heavyweight, to losing 25 pounds of pure muscle to fight Antonio Tarver, and he got stopped in the second round of that fight. But I digress. But anyway, here's my breakdown of the Kell Brook versus Errol Spence fight. And also to note that since this was an IBF title fight, that both fighters had to weigh in on a second time weigh-in, which is on an IBF title fight. Both fighters could weigh no more than 157 pounds. You can't weigh no more than 10 pounds above the weight class in an IBF title fight. And I like this rule by the IBF because it prevents fighters from rehydrating to like 20 pounds over. Like, let's just say you come in at 154 pounds. And the next day, and you weigh in, you make weight, and the next day you come in at 190 pounds, a la like Chavez Jr. used to do. But I digress. Both fighters made the second day weigh in perfect on time, so I'm like, okay, cool, we got to fight. But in the first round, we noticed that Kell Brook was working the jab and landing over the top. I gave that round to Kell Brook. In the second round, Errol Spence was jabbing to the body. Keyword, jabbing to the body and working the body. And I think that was the difference, the reason why Kell Brook won the fight. I was watching a fight with a friend and a bunch of people. I'm at a family barbecue, and we kept noticing that Errol Spence was working the body, slowly breaking down Kell Brook. And we said that, we predicted that, you know what? I think, we think that Errol Spence is breaking him down. And that's what happened. And, you know, there was a couple of times in the fight where Kell Brook would stun Errol Spence. And I really think this is Errol Spence's toughest fight. But let's go to the second round before we're jumping ahead of ourselves. Errol Spence was jabbing to the body, using the ring, and lots of clinching that round. But I gave that to Errol Spence. In the third round, Spence is hurting Brook with the body shots, and he landed a big right hand to stun Brook. Right hook, rather. But Kell Brook landed a shot to stop the offense. In the fourth round, Brook started slow with the body shots of Errol Spence, but Brook won the second half of that round. The fifth round, to me, was a close swing round. The sixth round, body shot Errol Spence starting to break down Kell Brook, in my opinion. I think that's the sixth round was key for Errol Spence Jr. because we starting to see that the talent and the body shots really starting to hurt Kell Brook, and me and my friend both predicted that Brook is not going to last too long if he's keep on taking body shots like this. Both fighters exchanged big shots, but we both agreed that Spence won that round. Now let's go to the time of the knockdown, which is in the 10th round. We were stunned. We were stunned that, not stunned, but like we weren't shocked that Errol Spence knocked down Kell Brook because we predicted that when we saw him landing the body shots. But what shocked me was that all of a sudden Kell Brook just took a knee, and that resulted in the knockout loss for him. And obviously, you know, this was a very impressive victory for Errol Spence Jr. We saw I think he gained a lot of experience from this fight, traveling to abroad to Sheffield, England from DeSoto, Texas. A lot of fighters don't like to fight overseas, but he took the challenge to do that. And what I noticed about when the fight stopped, Eddie Hearn ran up to Kell Brook and said, like, whispered to your ear, like, you shouldn't have took that fight or something. But that's how it goes, though, because Eddie Hearn did not want Kell Brook to take that fight. But what I think what Errol Spence should do next is that, obviously with Keith Thurman injured, the WBC is thinking about staging an interim title fight between Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, which is a good fight. I think Kell Brook should wait around for the winner. If Errol Spence beats the winner of that fight, then meet Keith Thurman in the middle of next year to set up a unification bout. And what I liked what Errol Spence said in his post-fight interview was the fact that he called out Manny Pacquiao, he called out Keith Thurman, he called out the big names in the welterweight division. He mentioned Undisputed. A lot of these fighters now are mentioning Undisputed, and we see Terrence Crawford's on that path at 140 pounds, and we see Andre Ward's on that path at 175. So I think we're being heard, folks, that which a lot of fighters want to become undisputed. And quite frankly, for a legacy standpoint, it's important to be undisputed. Now, what's next for Kell Brook? Personally, I think the weight loss hurt him. I think he should take a long break because he took 2 tough fights, one with Gennady Golovkin and one right after he fought Errol Spence Jr., which you got to give him much credit for. He did not duck Errol Spence Jr. He could have pussied out and went to 154 and said, "Fuck this belt. I'm going to preserve my record and just go to 154." But I think there's a lot of good fights for Kell Brook at 154 pounds. One of the Charlos is there. Erislan Yalar is there. And I think the fact that the body shots and the fact that with Kell Brook going down 2 weight classes gassed him out a bit. And I know he lost some muscle mass. I mean, and that was what I was concerned about during the weigh-in, was that, can he last into the later rounds? And obviously that was the plan of the Spence camp, to take Kell Brook into the later rounds, break him down with body shots, and ultimately stop him. And they did that, folks. And obviously Errol Spence Jr. is in a good position. Don't wait on Keith Thurman. Keep fighting. That's what I'm saying. If he had, too bad he didn't call out a Timothy Bradley or anything like that. Speaking of Timothy Bradley, I saw him on the back of a milk cart. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. This is your boy, Mr. Universal Sports. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace. Tell me what you think of the fight.